So, hello. Today we have the second day of our IT Arena, and we have our first speaker today. He is Ragnar Sass, CEO and co-founder of Clanbeat, Pipedrive, and also a founder of Garage 48. So, Ragnar, nice to meet you here.
Nice to be in Gilville. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I know that you have been here for a long time before, so like for 4 times, as you said on our pre-interview. And also you said some interesting things. You didn't finish the university and you started working at the age of 18. And can you tell us about your way of life and of your lifetime when you get to the point where you are right now?
Wow. So I think that, I have been involved in IT forever. Like in high school already, I was like doing coding, I was learning Pascal, Basic and so on. So it was very much like always like looking like what's the new cool thing happening in internet. So, but yeah, like I was in university and life was much more interesting. I basically made my first company when I was like 20 years old. So it wasn't IT, it was something else, but basically, I wanted to be entrepreneur, so that's my mindset. I was like, I always wanted to like make things, and I was 10 years in media, but what I felt that I was stuck. Like I was working for other people, and I needed to sell my vision, and they didn't get it. It was pretty frustrating. So one moment I was like, I'm done with that. Now I only work for myself. And then I had my first startup, which was United Dogs, which was Facebook for dogs and cats. So we had like very amazing experience. We didn't make money.
But lovely startup.
Yeah, but we got a great team, and this team later started Pipedrive, which is now today best B2B startup from Europe. We have more than 50,000 paid companies worldwide. We have 300 people working in our 4 offices, at least 20 Ukrainians actually, by the way. So we are really big fan of Ukrainian like talent, and that's actually the reason why I keep coming back to Ukraine is that I think that Ukraine is unique in one way that you have one of the biggest talent pool in the world, and I really mean in the world, because like Ukrainian like people, you can find so many hardworking, talented people which are really driven like we wanna change the world, we wanna really like put maximum effort, and we are ready to do that.
And how about the productivity of Ukrainian specialists? Are they more productive than others?
It is hard to say because I believe that there is always several people, but so far we have found like very productive people because Ukraine has 40 something million people every year, different numbers, but at least more than 10,000 new engineers from universities. So you can always find like good ones. Indeed, there are some which is not so much, but at least for us, we have found like very good fit with the culture, with Ukrainian developers.
Okay, and if to talk about the Pipedrive, I would like to understand how did you came up with this idea of the Pipedrive? Because as I know, it's a CRM system, HR system, kind of ERP system for small and medium business right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. So how did you understand that this product is needed by the market, and what did you do with competitors?
So basically, Pipedrive is focusing small businesses, and the case is that we are the best. We basically build system how you can be productive in sales, how you basically like, and we are usually the biggest problem in CRM world is that you basically have many systems, like hundreds and thousands of them, but majority of them is focusing managers, but actually who is feeling CRM is sales guy. And we basically like, we are very unique founders, like we have 5 founders, and 2 founders have been in sales 15 years. Oh. So that's why it's not only like IT guys starting that. So that's why we basically know everything about the sale, and we decided from the first moment, we have to build the most easiest solution. We basically look like how we can build system which is so easy to use, like you use paper and pen. That's our competitor basically. And yeah, today we have clients in 170 countries, and the system is so easy that basically you look 2-minute video and you're good to go. Usually you need training, you need so and so, and that has been our like key to the success to build product, which is really like making salespeople happy. So like yeah, like even this event I had talk yesterday, there was like again like 6 people from audience who was using Pipedrive. And they was like, thank you, we really love it. Even if we like finish in one company, we go to a new company, we always say we want to use same system. And that's like our thing, like we are philosophically wanna focus just one thing, building this product which helps our users. So you see it's product, it's support, but it's all companies driven by product. And even though, okay, we are building sales tool, we are not selling our software. Actually, our users are selling. So
Cool. And I have kind of tricky question to you because if to talk about competitors, so you have, for example, HubSpot. It's kind of one HubSpot, Salesforce, but Salesforce for big like companies more. But talking about the HubSpot, what is your key competitive advantage if to compare those to CRMs?
So HubSpot is a great tool, by the way. Like they have copied many things from us. So, and HubSpot is focusing much more on marketing because it's a marketing automation tool. And CRM for them is a second product basically, which supporting marketing. So for the many companies, they don't just need marketing automation. And our key advantage as well is that we are localized in 16 languages. So if HubSpot has approximately 20% client base outside of US, we have 65. So we are a global company. Like our second market is Brazil, Servant, Germany, France, and so on. So the key thing is that and we are really we are putting all our effort into the only one thing that's pipeline tool, and they are building marketing automation and CRM same time, which is much tougher because you need to have focus. But again, it's a great product. Usually what happens that if someone chooses CRM, what they do? They Google, they ask friends, they read reviews, and they ends up usually like 3-4 things. And then they test out, and then they pick what this feels best. And many times, people like testing out 3-4 tools and still like finishing with Pipedrive. But again, that's the best thing because you're trying out, and then you decide what is best for you.
And concerning the fact that you created great product, how did you get there? What's the process of product management inside your company? I know you have talked about this.
Yeah, I think that like the key element is that you really need to understand why you're building the product, what is the actual problem, and in CRM software is that exactly the key element is that more than approximately half of CRMs is not used.
Why?
Because it's too complicated. You pretty much is like you're a salesman, and sale is hard. It's hard, you call and so on. And if this software is basically, you need to put extra energy to that. And it doesn't follow your usual daily routine. Then you just lose track. So that's why we have been like really like every single person in Pipedrive, by the way. I'm just giving about example of our like product development DNA. If someone joins company, we have like 2-week bootcamp. In first week you learn product, and second week, are you a programmer? Are you assistant? Are you accountant? HR doesn't care. You do support. In second week, every single person in company is doing support.
So they can know the product best and which pains the customer faces.
Exactly. So you need what kind of things they are complaining and so on. And now we have new program. Now we have the things that we have to job shadowing, which mean we basically visit our clients and try to be like basically spend the day with them to really see how they are working. Because it's crucial that if you look who are our like product managers, like the first product manager we had was sales guy again. He needed to learn about IT, but he didn't know everything about the product, about sales. Then we have people who have been growing from support to the product people. We have people from the testers. But fundamental thing is that we are really looking like product have been driven by only one thing. You want to make people's life easier, more effective, and so on. So, and yeah, I think that this is key element. Are you putting effort to marketing, sales? But we are really driven by the product. So basically, we are reading reviews. Indeed, like we have vision. We know where we are going. But and yeah, the facts that we had from the day zero, we had basically like people which know every single detail about the sales. So we basically scaled that step by step, that everybody feeling that everybody understanding for who and why we are building the product. And as I said, in our case, we said, let's focus small companies. Many of our competitors is going enterprise, like Salesforce. Salesforce it's so hard to build product which is like fits for the like whatever Japanese post which has maybe let's say 100,000 employees, or someone who is like let's say outsourcing company who has 5 salespeople. Different product totally. And we have said small companies, salespeople, and who are doing active sales.
Yeah, and how your product team usually looks like? Because you said that you are shadowing, you have this job shadowing, but this means that product manager or UX researcher or whoever is in your team, he or she go into this place and watching and looking after this customer. So how it works in your company?
So exactly, like first of all, like product development said, we have now already 16 product owners. So we have basically we have independent teams, which basically means that you have one team which has front end, back end, and so on. The part of that is product owner. So they are working as a one team, they are independent. They can release independently. So don't depend on anybody else. Then we have indeed design UX who helps all of those teams. And we are using 2 week sprints. So we try to like, and that's the challenge, as we have now more than 300 people working in company. The more and more is like question how you can be very fast, because, and that's the things that you need to build independent small teams, and they can itself move very fast. And then you have like the things which supporting them, and yeah, like and the job shadowing is just the key that we need to be sure that do we have still very like effective connection with clients. And also we are doing other things like basically when we started, by the way, how we started that we had our own hackathons. We basically like had our daily job. So we was going to the countryside Friday evening, worked like really hard, 48 hours, and then released. So now we have done also design sprint, which is like you take 1 week, you are focusing that you can do, it is rapid prototyping. And it ends Friday that you basically show for your client prototype, and you just client clicks it. So this is also we have done, being sure that we can still be very fast in product development.
Yeah, I see. So to be fast, it's your aim.
Yes.
And what's the role of product roadmaps inside your Pipedrive product? Because as I know, there are different types of product roadmaps, and there is also a thought that we don't need a product roadmap at all. We need to understand what is our goal. However, you may have different clients who will ask you for this or that feature. So how do you prioritize and put those priorities in your product map?
I would even say that the key element many times for the product owner is saying no as well. Because, and I would say 90% time we say no. Because you need to understand if client asks with us why and what is actually, what he or she want to do. That's the key element. So you need to do this, and you need to really understand what is the end goal, what's your vision, where you're going. And then you can do things that you do daily in your product is really leading in the big picture. So understanding the big picture is like really, really important, and also like always like looking behind that, okay, if someone asks that feature, can we solve the problem without coding first? Because like we are not in the, like I don't believe that you can be in the war of like this one wins who has the most of the features. We really believe that if you like, and if I look Pipedrive today, and it was 2010 when we released first thing, the main view has stayed pretty much similar. It's the pipeline. We have added so much integrations, things under the hood. We are working very actively with data now. Like we have like bigger and bigger like data team, because if you have 50,000 clients worldwide, you can, because there's so unique data. Like we found out that people say, oh, those French people, they have too long lunch, but they are most effective after lunch, by the way. So in that sense, we are like, indeed we have some, like we have product goals and so on, but we really try to not compete with features, but more like doing things less, but focusing key elements. And really the key element is that how we just follow the salespeople like daily routine. If this changes, let's say like we have basically now full email integrations that you can send all your sales email inside the Pipedrive, it automatically connects all of the information to the deals. So it's more and more how we can automate, how we can basically, so the key element is that you put something in and we will get you much more back. And maybe in the future, like we are also like looking at the machine learning, so we can tell you have not spoken with this client already, like say 4 months, but we believe that you should. So that's what we actually heeding. And I remember we had actually in the very early days we had basically dream. So that you log in and you have Zen mode. You just see one piece of information. The next thing what you need to do to being more successful in sale, because you don't need too many things. You just need do this call. So that's actually maybe we still reach that in the future.
Yeah, it's kind of simplification of the process of
Absolutely.
salesperson. And when I was listening to you for your last replics, I've heard interesting thing about the sales process. Yeah, and it's kind of stable. But maybe you saw some shifts of the sales process in the last years. Maybe something has changed drastically, or there were some small changes which also influenced how the CRM looks like right now.
I would say that that's surprising. Sale itself hasn't changed so much because you still need to call, you need to visit client, but indeed there are different tools. People are using more and more mobile, which is like huge thing. People are like using WhatsApp. Like in Asia, people don't use too much email anymore. Everything is moving to the WhatsApp, so you need to be sure that you can also include that. And yeah, like more and more people, and especially in Asia, like you have like bigger phones. So which means that exactly this why this whatever like iPhone 8 Plus and those Plus phones is like super popular in Asia. So and you need to exactly more and more like do data mining. You know, that's the key element. And also big thing is that you know whatever you build, you're part of big ecosystem. The key question how data can move from one software to another. How your product is basically implemented to the other tools that people are using. So that's more and more key element. Because people don't choose one tool. They choose, will this tool fit into my existing setup, what I have? So that's like fundamental change that we started, we didn't have any integration, but today we have huge integration and we're basically moving to building a platform so that you can basically start to use and you know, okay, my data will go to this accounting software, I do invoices there, I get leads from that, I do the marketing automation and so on. So that's the fundamental change more and more that really people looking like product which is really can fit into the existing workflow.
Thank you, Ragnar, for this interesting talk, short talk hour. But I have the last question to you. So this video will be watched by our IT specialist salespeople. So maybe you can say some inspiring thing to our salespeople in Ukraine.
Wow. So I think that, you know...
or part of your wisdom, I don't know.
Yeah. So, you know, like the good news is that, you know, like sales job is always extremely important. And I have seen that many startups doesn't understand how important is that. So because like you guys are doing the main thing why companies are alive. You're making revenue. You're basically being sure that next day company exists and you can pay salaries and so on. So in that sense, like I really believe that more and more people understand how important this is tough job, you know. But good thing is that like there are many great software around which is trying to make your life easier. It's still hard job. But like I have seen that really that even the fundamental sales is staying hard and there's so much like thing. I have seen that if you do it in smart way sales and you have great product, you can still reach the results. So in that sense, like truly, you know that there is like people who support you and who really understand your pain in VIA and Pipedrive, and we are really appreciate the thing what you do every day, like hard. And by the way, one thing. The key thing which we in the Pipedrive and we have discovered in Estonia. In Estonia, we have unique things that we have many students going to the summer job in US doing they're selling books, and many of those guys who have selling from the morning like 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. books have been very successful entrepreneurs later on. So that sense, if you can be great salesman, you can also reach other great goals.
Thank you so much, Ragnar. And thank you for watching.
Thank you.